Not too long ago, I was talking about all of my building pet peeves, and boy, there were a ton of those building pet peeves. Everything from throwing clovers and flowers everywhere to random places, to doing all kinds of wacky nonsense. But in that video, I asked you guys if you wanted to see character pet peeves, let me know in the comments. There was at least one comment, I think, saying something along the lines of, you should do this with characters or something, and I've been thinking about it, and I figured, why not do it? Why not take a look at some character pet peeves? Things that people do with their characters, design-wise or other, that it just gets under my skin, it bothers me a little bit. Let's just get down to the list, and you can enjoy this awful gameplay of me trying to create this aquarium. So, starting off at the beginning, we have the entire character is like 30 different pride flags. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't mind you having like a pride character with multiple flags on it or whatever else like that, and I'm not against the flags or anything like that. It just bothers me a little bit whenever you have like a ton of flags to the point that you can't even tell what any of the flags are. I've seen this happen a couple of times. It's not as common as I'd like to think it is, but whenever I see it, I'm like, man, so like, what is it? Are you this, and this, and this, or are you just this, or are you all of them? It gets to the point that it's just impossible to tell what any of the flags are, because they're all just kind of mushed together. And I'm totally for it, but it kind of bothers me a little bit because it's almost hard to comprehend in a way, if that makes sense. But moving on to number 2, this one actually is similar to that, because a lot of the times when you have like 30 different pride flags on you, you also tend to be a little bit bright. But when I say too bright as number 2, I'm talking super bright. Now, I have a character as an example that I've made that's like an eye bleed example. These are basically so bright that it kind of hurts your eyes to look at. These bother me because they're literally just hard to look at. It hurts your eyes a little bit. There was a trend not too long ago, if I remember correctly, of people just making these characters and just running around intentionally trying to cause problems with it. And it was a whole thing, so hopefully that doesn't happen anymore, but it does happen every now and then. I do see the character, it's maybe not intended to make someone's eyes hurt, but I do see that kind of character every now and then, and it bothers me every time, and it just gets under my skin. It's like, I don't know, it's just too bright. Why do you want it to be so bright? Doesn't it hurt your eyes too? And number 3 is work in progress characters. Now, this one might sound controversial at first, but what I mean is those things that are just a mess of a bunch of default characters. Or, sorry, a bunch of default colors. If you're like all the default colors, you're not Fez, you're just a mess of like random colors and patterns and designs and stuff like that. Like you have a specific hair, a specific shirt, specific like pattern on your legs or on your wings or something like that, and it's all default colors, no original colors, just all the default colors, and you're just running around the map like that. It just bothers me because it's hard to look at. Again, a lot of these kind of just boil down to it's kind of hard to look at, because I don't know, it's just like, just finish it. Can't you just finish the character? Or like, if you're not going to finish it right now, just switch to a character that is finished or something. I don't know. Something about it just bothers me. It's like hard to look at, I guess, is again what it just really boils down to. Now, we're almost done with the list, because this list is much, much smaller than my building pet peeves. And honestly, with this list so far, you can do any of these that I've done so far, and it will bother me a little bit, but it won't really get under my skin that much. It's just more of like, it's hard to look at. This next 2 are hard to look at, I will say, but the next one and the next one after that, the last 2 that I have on this list, are a little bit more controversial, I think, in terms of just having the character in your inventory, I guess is a way to put it. Number 4 is inappropriate skins, inappropriate characters. I'm talking people that just make them like it's just a floating dick walking around. I've seen a lot of inappropriate characters. And sure, you see that on the 18+ server where I play, and that's okay. That's technically allowed because it's an 18+ server. But I do see this every now and then on the safe server as well, and it's just like, why are you doing this on the safe server? You need to get out of here. You need to get banned or something. I usually like try to ignore these skins, but whenever I see them in the safe server, I'm like, okay, something needs to be done. So if you ever do see them in the safe server or something like that, definitely report them, hide them, get your account information, all that stuff, send it over to their email so that they can ban that person or something, restrict them from the safe server, something, I don't know. But these are just really annoying to run across because, especially like for me as a content creator, I might be recording or something, and if a dick is just floating across the screen like that, that's just gonna end badly, I think. So it just sucks to see, and it's hard to look at. It is hard to look at, but it's more of just it's inappropriate. I don't want to look at it. It's more of I don't want to look at it rather than I can't comprehend it or something. And number 5 is the last one on here. This one I think probably everyone can agree with, and that is like cosplays or like skins of just bad people, just terrible people, people that are just genuinely like awful. This is most commonly seen as like Hitler for some reason. I've seen a lot of Hitler skins on this game for some reason, and that is obviously a very bad person. I don't know why anyone makes cosplays of that person. It's really disturbing to think about. Every single time I see it, I usually just hide the person permanently. So if you ever come up to me as a Hitler skin, I'm sorry, you're just blocked forever now. But that is basically what it comes down to. There's all kinds of other bad people. I don't really want to name names, but if you're like someone who's like obviously done terrible things on YouTube or on social media somewhere or something like that, and you're cosplaying as that person, it kind of makes you look bad because it's like you're basically being the person. You're basically pretending to be that person, so it kind of just makes you look bad by default. So that is my list of, I guess, 5 pet peeves that I have of character creation in PonyTown. Let me know in the comments below what your pet peeves are for characters. Maybe I'll make a part 2 sharing those or something. But for now, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do consider liking, subscribing, sharing, and doing all of those wonderful things like that. Because when you do wonderful things like that, not only do you get access to wonderful content such as this, but you also get to become wonderful yourself. And I think we all want that. So do those wonderful things, and until next time, stay wonderful.